So we're back. And Ne-Yo has some splaining to do. Welcome back to Sharon's Table. The singer-songwriter is under fire because of comments he made last week. He said these things on a podcast called The Cruise Show. And he was talking, Ne-Yo was, about song lyrics. He said in part, it's gotten super misogynistic, which I don't understand. I can only blame us, men, halfway for that. Because as a woman, if a man sings the B word to you and you smile at him, he's probably going to do it again and again and again and again. He went on to say, so ladies, I love you all to death, but if you all want men to stop calling you B's, stop dancing to them records. Now, to me, Brittney, this breaks down into two parts, but you're going to set it straight for all of us. You're not going to call me the B word and be my man, okay? And I don't think it's cool to listen to a music. And I've been that way forever. I'm old now, but I've been that way forever. But to me, he went too far when he didn't take more responsibility for it. But maybe I'm wrong. Set us up.
You're absolutely right. As I say to folks, right, the only B word that you use in relationship to me is my name. That's it. But also, to be clear, right? So one, this is a terrible argument. This is not unlike the way that white folks sometimes say, well, Black people use the N word to refer to each other. So
Oh,
how is it
wow.
different, right? And so he's doing the same thing. So he starts out at base saying, oh, yes, this is misogyny. Well, newsflash, Ne-Yo, right? Misogyny does not originate with women. We did not come to the planet hating ourselves. Men and a system of patriarchy is the source of misogyny. And just like ultimately, it will not be up to Black people to solve the problem of white supremacy, it is not going to be up to women to solve the problem of patriarchy and misogyny. And so you are absolutely right. It was his job to take more responsibility. Now, look, one of the things when he says, well, you know, because y'all are out here dancing to it, yeah, y'all have men, particularly brothers in hip hop and R&B, have normalized the culture of disrespecting women, and women have a complicated relationship to that. But he can change by choosing not to put out the kinds of music that use those words and encourage brothers to recognize that you can be sexy, you can be ratchet, you can have fun, you can be, you can be edgy, and you don't have to disrespect sisters. And I don't like it when folks say, well, y'all participate in it, therefore you're responsible for it. I absolutely don't take responsibility. I take no half responsibility. And that don't mean that I don't like ratchet music. I do. That's primarily what I bump, quite frankly. I'm a member of the Crunk Feminist Collective. So I'm about the life. And at the same time, I am like, but misogyny is the province of men to solve. And that's the only thing that we need to hear from you, Ne-Yo, is how you going to be part of the solution, not how are Black women part of the problem. No, thank you.
Amen. I love you. I just love you. There's something about the way you break it all the way down. Ameshia, to me, the other thought I had was, you know what? It's lazy. You can't write music and do. There's a more thought that needs to go into this, more creativity. But at the end of the day, isn't she right? It's like saying, well, if he cheats on you, it's your fault. You let him.
She is absolutely right, as Professor Crunk most often is. But we have to also remember that with Ne-Yo, this is a guy who has no leg to stand on when it comes to trying to argue against or speak on misogyny at all. This is a guy who forced his ex-fiance to have her tubes tied, telling her he didn't want any more kids, meanwhile cheating on her and then going on to have 2 more kids with the woman he jumped for. So no, I'm not racking on him with misogyny at all. He doesn't care about women. But with that being said, it is very well known that hip hop and the rap industry has some of the most culturally problematic lyrics when it comes to when it comes to women. And it's not just the lyrics; it's also the videos. It's the semblances of you running a chick running a credit card down the crack of a woman's behind. It's having women on leashes. It's calling them bees and whores and all types of other things that could possibly come to the mind. It's talking about having threesomes with sisters. There's a lot going on there that's extremely problematic. That promotes abuse, that promotes sexual abuse, that promotes physical abuse, all types of coercive sexual acts. Yes, that misogyny comes from men, and they do it because it sells. They don't do it because they're thinking about women. They don't do it because they have wives or daughters or anything at home. They could care less. They do it because it sells. It sells to the community, and it is extremely problematic, and it's something that we face time and time again. But to the professor's point, I think that there's a circular logic here in the comments he made, because it does sound a lot like the white folks, the Republicans who talk about, well, if Black people can say the N word, then why can't we? Here he's basically saying if women can be in these videos, if women can, bop to music in the club, then there's nothing wrong with it. It's also women's fault. Women aren't writing the lyrics. Women aren't producing the music. Women aren't the ones who are out here making money hand over fist over these really problematic tropes about Black women. And I think that we do need to call that out. But as someone who has made billions off of it himself, definitely not the person who needs to be speaking on it. And you can't blame women for something that being created and continue to propagate and make money off of.
That's right.
Mm. And you reminded us about what went down in that relationship. It's not just that he left, do what you want to do. It's the way he did it and the way he propped up his actions. Candace, I'm almost afraid to ask, and I'll give you the last word, if you own any part of what he's talking about here. Do you think any part of it is us?
Listen, Ne-Yo can't talk about meeting us halfway when 100% really of the men, when we talk about producing and owning rap, owning R&B and being in the control room, master control and making decisions, are all men. I mean, from Timbaland to, Black Kodak to Dr. Dre to Sean Cole. I mean, it is a male-dominated industry. So if it's 100% men, we can't meet you halfway if you got all the tools to make the changes. So we're always the ones who are making the changes. Me Too happened because women made the changes. Maybe that's what we should do. If he's going to put it in our lap, we've got the power to make sure that there are some producers, there are some women who are in the room to make different types of decisions. But the men have to make the decisions when they come to the table, because right now they're the only ones at the table. We know that we all love rap. I mean, let's be real. And yes, there are a lot of rap songs that say the B word and are misogynistic. But like Brittney said, we've been conditioned to hear it and listen to the good beat. But there's so many women who are out there who are conditioned to hear it and not just listen to the good beat. They're conditioned to make them think that that's who they are. So when it comes to Ne-Yo, he's just really out of turn in saying that. But I think it opens up the door for great discussion for women to say, why aren't we at the table in master control? We've got Megan, we've got Cardi B, we've got these amazing female artists who are taking agency over their bodies, over their private parts. That's what we hear. They're trained to be in the game. But why aren't we at the table? That's the issue. And that's what has to change.
Still hard for these women in the rap game. I sat down with Trina for a whole day, and I can't unhear the things that she described about the game and how you have to stay relevant in it, and how you're punished when you don't do it a certain way.